Our first speaker has been speaking for about 14 years. He's spoken to over 1.5 million people around the world. And again, he's at the first ever PEP Talks. Woohoo! So he gets to add that to his resume now. He's also a professional life coach. Please welcome to the stage, JB with Beyond the Field Coaching.
Wait, what did you just say to me? I can't believe you just said that. You're supposed to be the one person I can count on at this time. Just shut up, shut up. As Mom used to say, if you have nothing good to say, keep your mouth shut. Good morning.
Good morning.
I can tell some of you are wondering what the just happened. How many of you have ever had a conversation with yourself? Come on, you can raise your hand. We all have. Maybe not on a stage in front of a lot of people, but it has happened. What you just heard was me telling my negative self-talk to shut up. Don't you just love how those negative thoughts like to creep in and take over? It's kind of sad. What's really sad is we start to listen to all that negative stuff. Well, today I've decided no more. Today is time to stop listening to the negative self-talk. Who's with me? Absolutely. And we all know what it sounds like. Let me know if you hear something familiar. I'll refresh your memory. You have accomplished nothing in your life. You are not enough. You're a failure. You're not going to be taken seriously. You're never going to be successful. Okay, that's enough of that. The point is, today we stop listening to the negative self-talk. And we replace it with positive self-talk. Today we change our perspective. Let me share a story with you about a young man that was born in 1942 in Louisville, Kentucky. When he was 12 years old, he went outside to ride his bike, only to discover it was stolen. He was furious. The police were called in to investigate. He told the policeman, he was so mad. He said, I'm going to beat up the person that stole my bike. The cop looks at this little skinny kid and he says, well, you'd better learn how to fight if you're going to start challenging people. And it just so happened this cop, he ran a boxing gym during his off time. So he invited this little kid to come down and he'd teach him how to fight, teach him how to box. That was the day that changed that kid's life forever. Not only did he learn how to fight, how to box, he got really good at it. He got so good that he became a Golden Gloves champion. He became an Olympic gold medal champion. Ultimately, he became the heavyweight champion of the world. And throughout this process of becoming a heavyweight champion, he trained to develop his mind and his body to be tough. And along the way, he developed what I considered some of the best self-talk ever.
I said, last night I had a dream. When I got to Africa, I had one hell of a rumble. I had to beat Tarzan's behind first for claiming to be the king in the jungle. For this fight, I've wrestled with alligators. I've tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning and put thunder in jail. You know I'm bad. I have murdered a rock. I injured a stone, and I hospitalized a brick. I'm so bad I make medicine sick. I'm so fast, man, I can run through a hurricane and don't get wet. When George Foreman meets me, he'll pay his debt. I can drown a drink of water and kill a dead tree. Wait till you see Muhammad Ali.
Now, some of you look at that and you say, he's bragging, he's boastful. You see, I look at that and I say, that's some very powerful self-talk. It's all a matter of perspective. You see, that was his positive self-talk. It just so happened he chose to share it with the entire world. Now, I don't expect any of you to go find a camera and do what he did. But I'm absolutely okay if every single one of you get in front of your mirror every morning and say these words. I float like a butterfly. I sting like a bee. Today's the day. They gonna wish they were me. I am the greatest. Whew, does that not give you goosebumps? You see, we all know the best way to get rid of bad habits is to replace them with good habits. So it's time for us to replace that negative self-talk with positive self-talk. So I'm going to ask each of you to do me a favor. Here in just a minute, I'm going to start throwing out some phrases, some positive self-talk. And when you hear a phrase that resonates with you, I want you to stand and remain standing until I'm done. Let's see how many of you are awake this morning. I am enough. I am wonderfully made. I am sexy as. I am worthy of being loved. I'm a boss. Oh, wow. My butt does look good in those jeans. You can have a seat. Thank you. You see, it's all about perspective. You change your perspective, you can change your possibilities.
What's the matter?
This guy Louis Dumps over here, he owes me $20. It's been 2 weeks now, and every time he sees me, he keeps dodging me.
Yeah.
He's becoming a real pain in the ass. I mean, should I crack him one or what?
What's the matter with you? What have I been telling you? Sometimes hurting somebody ain't the answer. First of all, is he a good friend of yours?
Nah, I don't even like him.
You don't even like him. Well, there's your answer right there. Look at it this way. It costs you $20 to get rid of him. Right? He's never going to bother you again. He's never going to ask you for money again. He's out of your life for $20. You got off cheap. Forget it.
You're always right. You're always right.
You see, it's a matter of perspective. You change your perspective, you change your possibilities. What if Ali hadn't got his bike stolen that day? He may have never become the champion he was. What if Louis had paid him back that $20? He'd have come back tomorrow for another 40. We all know that things happen in life. Sometimes unfavorable things. And when those things happen, we have a choice to make. We can either rise up or give up. Rosa Parks had a choice to make. Helen Keller, rise up or give up. Albert Einstein couldn't talk until he was 4 years old. Stephen King had his first book rejected 30 times. Bethany Hamilton had her arm bit off by a shark. They all chose to rise up, not give up. If you want to be successful, there's no time or place for excuses. You see, I could have made lots of excuses in my life. There were times I did. I was raised by a single mom. Could have used that as an excuse. My mom was my champion. She was my hero. And I lost my champion and my hero a little over 3 years ago. My mom raised 5 of us by herself. So you see, I grew up without a father in my life. I didn't know what a father-son relationship looked like. I had no idea what a father-daughter relationship looked like. I didn't know what a husband-wife relationship looked like. I had to learn that along the way. And there was this one time, one particular time, a pivotal moment in my life. It was a time when one of my older sisters graduated from college. She was the first of us to graduate. We were very proud of her. We decided to throw her a party. And she wanted to invite my father. Now keep in mind, we hadn't seen this man in over 10 years. He didn't even know she was in college. But he shows up. He walks in, chest all out, like he's the proud father, like he had something to do with this. And I can remember sitting in the back being very upset. I was angry. How dare he show up, try to take credit for something he had nothing to do with. I was angry. And I was even more angry for my sisters. You see, they wanted that father-daughter relationship so bad they would accept whatever crumb he tossed their way. So I was very angry for my sisters. I left there that day with a newfound anger I didn't know I had. And it stayed with me for a while. And there was this one particular time I was sitting on the couch. My son was born. And I was sitting there and I was holding him. And I was looking at his little face. And I started thinking, wow, he doesn't have a grandfather. Not because he's dead, but because he chooses not to be a part of his life. And as I sat there and I held my son and I looked at his face, I made him a promise that I would always be a part of his life. He would always know how much I love him, how much I care about him, and how proud I am of him. And he knows that. He's 24 years old today, and we have a good relationship. Now, it wasn't too long after that, I was sitting down and I was reading this book that one of my mentors gave me. It's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I'm sitting there and I'm reading this book, and I come across this one section. It said the 31 major causes of failure. Now, first of all, I didn't know it was 31. But apparently it is. And so I'm going down this list, right? And I started to come across some I've seen before, and you've probably seen them before as well. The first one was lack of self-discipline. Anybody ever? Yeah? Procrastination. Lack of persistence. And so I'm going down this list, and I realize I'm checking a little too much. It's starting to become a little painful. And then I came across one that I had never seen before. It said unfavorable environmental influences during childhood. I'm like, what does that mean? Unfavorable environmental influences during childhood. So I'm walking around the house for like 2 days trying to figure out what does that mean? What does that mean? And one day it finally dawned on me. My father choosing not to be a part of my life was considered an unfavorable environmental influence. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that my father choosing not to be a part of my life could cause me to fail? No way. I'm not going to give him that kind of power in my life. So it was that day I decided to do something about this anger towards my father. So I called him up. I said, I need to talk to you. Will you meet me? So he decided to meet me. And we met at this restaurant. So I walk in, he's sitting at this booth. And so I sit down across from him, and I said, you know, I don't understand you. I don't understand how you can have kids and never want to be a part of their life. How you can never pick up the phone, see how they're doing. How you can never come visit them, give them a hug and tell them you love them. I don't understand that. I said, I've been angry with you for a long time. But today I'm done being angry. I said, I forgive you. You don't have to ask for forgiveness. I forgive you. From here on, the ball's in your court. If you want a relationship with me, if you want a relationship with your son, your grandson, that's right, you have a grandson. If you want a relationship with us, here's my number. You can call me. I said, but I want you to understand something. I'm not interested in a one-sided relationship where I do all the calling and you break all the promises. I'm not interested in that. But if you want a relationship, you call me, I'll be there. And I got up from that booth, and as I was walking out, it was like this big bag of bricks came off my shoulder. I felt free. You see, that day I took my power back. And I can remember driving down the highway, going to my house, feeling better than I felt in a long time. And I started thinking about something one of my mentors told me. He said, control the things you can control. You see, I cannot control the fact that my father chose not to be a part of my life. But I can control how I'm going to let it make me feel. I can control the fact that I'm not going to allow his decision to keep me from doing what I need to do in my life. I can control that. And I want you to know something. To this day, he's never called. But I'm okay with it. Because that's his loss, not mine. You see, he's the one that missed out on watching his kids grow up, start families. He's the one that missed out on developing a relationship with his kids and his grandkids. So that's his loss, not mine. That's my perspective. And I'm pretty sure that there's some of you in here that can relate to that unfavorable environmental influence during your childhood. What's your perspective? How long are you going to let the excuses keep you from moving forward? Are you going to rise up or give up? See, perspective is in here and in here. You know what else is in here? Your passion. Your passion for who you are is in here. And I believe we all have a champion that lives within us. Your passion is your champion. And today, I'm going to give you some things that champions do. Some things that they do to elevate themselves to the highest and the next level. But before I give you what I call a champion's mindset, I want to make sure we're on the same page. When I say champion, I'm talking about you. And I want you to recognize that today. So going forward, every time I say champion, I want you to say to yourself, that's me. I say champion, you say that's me. I say champion, you say that's me. Champion. That's me. Champion. That's me. That's you. Champions dare to dream. They have a vision for where they want to go and what they want to do. And they set daily habits to move them toward that ultimate goal. Champions have a well-defined mission. They know exactly what they want to achieve. They have a true passion for what they do and how they do it. And they learn to embrace that passion and use it to propel them forward. Champions understand what they can and can't control. They accept the things that they can control. And they learn to work around And they learn to accept the things that they can't, the uncontrollables. Champions. They know that they have a choice. They get to choose how they feel and how they think. They train their minds to think positive thoughts, not negative thoughts. They identify and overcome obstacles. See, champions, remember I'm talking about you now. That's you. We identify those things that are difficult for us to handle. We make a specific plan on how to handle those things when they come up again and again. And instead of giving up and making excuses, we do whatever we take. We do whatever it takes to overcome adversity. Champions don't work alone. Champions surround themselves with people who can inspire them, encourage, and teach them. They align themselves with mentors and coaches for support, expertise, accountability. And a true champion, that's you. That's me. A true champion understands the power of having a strong support system. Are you ready to accept that you're a champion? Yes. Are you ready to embrace your passion? Yes. To change your perspective? Yes. To change your possibilities? Yes. To tell your negative self-talk to shut up? Yes. What are you going to do when your bike gets stolen? Fight. Are you going to rise up? Or are you going to give up? See, I know and I believe that every single one of you in here is a champion. That's you. And I want to encourage you to embrace who you are, embrace what you do, and have passion for what you do. I'm JB, and I want to thank you for rising up today and accepting that you're a champion.